Welcome to Bible Journeys with Jen and Jamie.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Jamie.
And we're so glad that you have decided to join us for the ultimate road trip this summer, where each week we'll travel to a new place in the Bible and check out what happened there. Ready? Let's jump in. Whoa, look at that. Another well-known town.
Welcome to Greece.
Yeah. Here we are in Thessalonica. The significance of Thessalonica comes much after the crucifixion of Jesus, because now we're talking about missionary journeys and the preaching and teaching of Jesus and who Jesus was.
Yeah, but where are we today?
Yeah.
Thessalonica. It's the capital of the Roman province of Macedonia in northern Greece.
Yeah, here we see that Thessalonica is a prosperous port on the Aegean Sea across from the bay from Mount Olympus. You see it there, Mount Olympus?
Not the water park.
Not the water park.
Of significance here was that Paul, Timothy, and Silas would have been here on one of their missionary journeys. And they arrived here after they were asked to leave Philippi by the city officials, and this was around 50 AD. So this was part of Paul's second missionary journey. But yeah, they had been asked to leave Philippi because they were creating kind of a stir.
Right, because now we see that after Jesus' death and resurrection, we are sent into the world to tell others, and so now all these towns that they're visiting are not liking it so much. But Paul preached in the synagogue for 3 Sabbaths and was able to persuade many to put their faith in Jesus. They came to Jesus.
Yeah, so 3 different weeks he preached, and he was able to create quite the waves. Many people put their faith in him, but many of the Jews in Thessalonica were outraged by all of this. And so they actually went looking for Paul and Silas, who had taken refuge in Jason's house. Jason and the other Christians then were hauled before the magistrates, kind of put on trial, and they ended up having to post bond to free themselves from the mob that was created there. So.
Yeah. And so for safety's sake, because obviously it now became an unsafe place for them to be, the newly formed church sent the missionaries away, and Paul communicated with them via letters. Can you guys guess which letters he would have written in Thessalonica? If you guessed 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, you would be correct. Yay!
Good job. But yeah, so then eventually Timothy returned to Thessalonica, and while he was there, he was able to give Paul the good news that the Christians were doing really well there. Paul writes to them then in these letters, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. He writes with relief and great joy to hear that they were doing so well and that they were keeping the faith. And then also to answer questions that they had about faith. A few months later then, his second letter, 2nd Thessalonians, followed up, reinforcing some of the teachings, clearing up confusion on Christ's return. Because remember, these are all very new Christians. They are struggling to understand what it meant by Christ was coming again. And so Paul writes to them to clear that up.
Yeah. And these 2 letters, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, are the earliest of Paul's writings, other than possibly Galatians. But here we see that they were only written 20 years after the crucifixion of Jesus. And so
very new.
Yeah, very new, and very new to everybody who's around them, faith believers, all of those types of things would have been very new and very disliked in the area because of what they were doing.
Yeah.
But it was working. God was working, because lots of people came to faith, and we know about it today. So now that we have seen Thessalonica in the past, let's flash forward to see what it looks like today. Look at that.
Welcome.
We're in somewhat of
Thessaloniki.
Oh, okay. So you thought Thessalonica was fun to say, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, Thessalonica is my favorite, like, Bible town to say. Like, when we talk about it, that's what I always say. But now I think I have, like, a real life favorite town to say, because Thessaloniki might be more fun to say than Thessalonica.
I mean, it is fun to say. It's also a fun place to be. But it is the 2nd largest city in Greece, behind Athens, with about 1 million residents.
It's a large town.
Very large town. Obviously, it is a booming metropolis. It has just grown from Thessalonica, so yeah, lots of inhabitants.
It's located 312 miles north of Athens. So think from like here roughly to like
Rhineland or northern Wisconsin.
Northern Wisconsin. So about 3.5-ish hours north, 4 hours north of Athens.
And if you like the party life, like my friend Jamie here does.
Yes, obviously.
No, Thessaloniki is renowned for its festivals, events, and cultural life. Obviously, being in Greece, the Greeks know how to party.
They know how to live.
Everything's a good time. Everything's fun, full of life. So yes, if you want to party and be Thessaloniki's the place to be.
Yeah. And the work that Paul and Silas and Timothy started in the Bible did not stop, because 98% of the population of Thessaloniki is Christian Orthodox.
Yeah.
So the work that Paul started there continues on today in the Christian community.
Which is really cool, because a million people and 98% of those are Christian Orthodox. Way to go. Because the city has continued to exist over the past 2,000 years, obviously with a really big population, little remains of the days when Paul and Silas would have visited. So it's obviously grown and things have changed. But some excavations have revealed some first century sites, like a bathhouse. There was even a gate with the inscription Politarchs? I'm not sure how to say that. But it was found. This would be the word that Luke used to describe the people who questioned Jason about Paul and Silas.
Yeah, so quite a lot has changed since the times of Paul and Silas.
Yeah.
But quite a lot still exists there today, thanks to the work that they did while they were there.
I think Paul would continue to write back with relief and joy about the greatness that is coming out of Thessaloniki. Yeah. So, thanks for joining us this week on Bible Journeys, where we took a look at the past and someplace in the future. Join us next week as we discover another town and see what happens there, here on Bible Journeys. See you then.